Hey guys, and welcome back to Ados the Great YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video we will be reviewing how I went in round 23 and then giving you my round 24 tips, the final round of the AFL season, and then we move into finals. So this is very exciting, guys. I cannot wait, but without further ado, let's jump into it. So to start things off, I back Collingwood at Marvel to beat the Lions. Lions have not been playing well outside of the Gabba, and to their credit, they got a really good win here. So Lions, I apologise. They got a good win, and they've still kept their hopes to get the minor premiership alive. So good win there for the Lions. Next up, Richmond over North Melbourne. I got that one right. Very good win there for the Tigers. I backed Carlton to beat Gold Coast, and to Gold Coast credit, they were actually pretty good. But, Carlton, credit to them, they've locked themselves into a finals berth and absolutely deserve it as well. Next up, GWS absolutely put Essendon to the sword. Basically locked in a final spot depending on results next round, but good win there for the Giants. Next up, I backed Geelong to beat St Kilda. St Kilda absolutely destroyed Geelong, knocking out Geelong. They cannot make finals now, and St Kilda have locked themselves into a finals berth. So good win there for the Saints. Next up, I took Adelaide to beat the Swans, and I'm going to take this as a morally correct tip. Reason being, Adelaide should have realistically won this game, but it is what it is. Shout out to the Swans. They've locked themselves into the top 8. Next up, I took Western Bulldogs to beat my Eagles, and credit to the Eagles. What a performance. They won this game away from home as well, which is huge. I could not have been prouder of the Eagles. So shout out to them. Very good win there. Next up, I took Melbourne to beat the Hawks. Good win there for the Demons. They got the job done. I thought Hawthorn were pretty brave in this one as well, so credit to Hawthorn. But Melbourne, too good. They locked themselves into the top 4. Finally, took Port Adelaide to beat Freo. They got the job done. Bit of a meh sort of game, but it is what it is. Port Adelaide, they locked themselves. Well, they were already locked in, I believe. Not necessarily. So, yeah, they locked themselves into the top 4 as well. So let's jump into round 24, which is the final round of the year. As you can see, no more rounds. So first things first, we've got Essendon against Collingwood. After last week's performance, I cannot see Essendon coming close to Collingwood. I think Collingwood win that, and I think they win it by about 64 points. I think Essendon are really done for now. That's it. End of the season, they're done. No hope for them whatsoever. Collingwood lock in that minor premiership. I think they will get the job done there. Hawthorn and Freo. The game's being played at the MCG. This game definitely could go either way. I don't know. Freo can definitely win this game, but I am going to tip Hawthorn. I'm sure Hawthorn would be Freo would be favourites with the bookies. I'm not entirely sure about it, but I would say that it's more than likely that Freo are the favourites. No, Hawthorn are. Okay, I'm still going to stick with it. I'm still going to stick with Hawthorn. I reckon they'll get the job done there. Next up, we've got the Kangaroos and the Suns. Look, I think the Suns end the year with a good win. I'm backing them over the Kangaroos. Lions should get a really good win there against the Saints at the Gabba, locking them into a top 2 spot, which will give them a home final, which, in my opinion, they very much need. So, should be a good win there for Brisbane. Next up, Geelong against the Bulldogs. I don't know how. This is a tough game. Like, I know people have, Geelong are the favourites to win this one, but I think the Dogs, there's still a chance to play finals this year. I'm going to tip the Cats, but would not be surprised if the Dogs win. I'm going all out this next one. I am backing my boys. Last game of the year for them. I'm backing them in to beat Adelaide. I know Adelaide have been red hot this year. Well, for the most part, they've been pretty good this year. So I think that they will, they should probably win this. But last game of the year at Optus Stadium, I think West Coast can get the win here. I really do. And that would just be, the icing on the cake for us. beating the Bulldogs and then beating the Crows. Great bit of momentum to end the season. I'd love that. I'm going to go with it. I think West Coast can win. Next up, Port Adelaide and Richmond. I think Port Adelaide win this one and win it relatively well there. Swans against Melbourne. I'm actually tipping the Swans to win this one. I think they'll get the job done at the SCG. And finally, we've got Carlton against GWS. If the Cats do beat the Bulldogs, GWS are in the top 8 regardless, but I do think Carlton will be too strong. So let's go over my tips, and I'll give you the margin as well. So obviously Collingwood 40 plus, Hawthorn 1 to 39, Suns I think it'll be 1 to 39, especially at Blundstone Arena. Lions I think will be 1 to 39, but on the higher end there. Cats 1 to 39, Eagles 1 to 39. Port Adelaide I think could push 40 plus, but I'm going to go safe and say 1 to 39. Swans 1 to 39, and then Carlton 1 to 39. Let me know your tips down below, guys. Enjoy the last round of AFL, and I will be back in 2 weeks after this one with my finals week 1 tips. However, next week there will be my finals prediction as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you all so much for your support this year. I've done really, I thought maybe I'd be lucky to get 100 views a video. I think the last one hit 300 or got pretty close, so I really do appreciate your support on the AFL content, guys. Thank you so much for an amazing 2023, and I'll see you guys next week with my finals predictions. Thanks for watching.